Hello, engineers. How are you today? Ooh, it sounds like a lot of you are still excited about our project and our learning. We're going to learn a lot of things today. But before we get started on some new information, I wanted to review the design cycle with you and identify where we have been in it throughout the week. Let's reread the steps of the cycle. The design cycle. Learn, plan, make, test. Wonderful job, engineers. On Monday, we made observations and reviewed our work from the previous weeks after I shared my question with you. It sort of felt like I was learning with all of you. Did you think that we were in the learn step of the design cycle? I agree. Let's continue. The next day, we reviewed our learning about forces, pushes and pulls, and we used that to make the track for our car. And this is going to carry our rocket across the 2 stages. What force are we using when we move the car back and forth? Yes, we are pulling the car. When we pull on the car with the string, we are exerting force on it. And when we were actually cutting and rebuilding the paper towel roll, we were in the make process of the design cycle. And when we pulled the strings, do you think we were in the test step? I thought so too. We had to make sure we taped everything correctly. What did we do yesterday, engineers? That's correct. We tested different blue materials to see which ones were transparent, translucent, and made the light look blue. I learned a word to describe the blue papers. They were opaque, and that means that we can't see through them. That means that they were not transparent. That's really helpful information. And that leads us to today. Today, we're going to learn, because we love learning, but we're also going to plan our final assembly for tomorrow. And for that, you'll need 2 cereal boxes. But don't get them quite yet. We're going to learn about some awesome things first. Are you ready to learn with me? Great. Well, since it's March and it's Women's History Month, and my shadow puppet show is about astronauts, I thought we would learn about a female astronaut that was the first in her field. This is important because, like many fields or careers, a lot more men are hired than women. And this inequality has happened for a while. So over time, when women would finally get a job at a place where men always worked, well, they were the first ones. So this month, we celebrate the accomplishments of women who inspired us by not giving up and becoming the first of many. Since 1961, just over 565 people have left planet Earth and gone to space. But only 65 of them have been women. The first woman to ever go into space was Valentina Tereshkova. She traveled there in 1963. She's also the youngest to have traveled into space at the age of 26. She orbited planet Earth 48 times in Vostok 6. Listen to how she was chosen to be an astronaut. So, before becoming she was an astronaut, she was a skydiver. Yeah, you heard that. Isn't that so adventurous? I'm not sure if I'm ready for something like that. But skydivers and parachuters were exactly what the space program was looking for. She passed all of the qualifications and didn't get too sick during a lot of tests. So she was considered a good candidate to be a cosmonaut. That's another way to say astronaut. So like I said, she went around the Earth 48 times, and it took almost 3 days for her to do that. She must have been traveling really fast. But when she was in space and had arrived safely, she radioed down to Earth. It is I, Seagull. Everything is fine. I see the horizon. It's a sky blue with a dark strip. How beautiful the Earth is. Everything is going well. Wow, that must have been so exciting for her. How would you feel if you were in space, engineers? Right? I would be so excited too. She referred to herself as Seagull because that was her radio name. It's sort of like a nickname. In 1978, she went on and pursued and achieved a doctorate in aeronautical engineering. Oh, so she's an engineer. What a cool connection. But that makes me even more excited to work on our astronaut shadow puppet show. Ooh, engineers, remember I promised you that we'd work on these theaters today. So now you can take out those cereal boxes. Okay, so if you look at my model theater, you'll notice that we only see the inside of these boxes. So to make these, you'll need to open up your cereal boxes and turn them inside out. But do not cut anything off of this. I'm going to show you how to do it on the other one. So you find the seam and just open it. Do not cut things off. Just slide your finger. And this one, you have to look inside. You can find it. And go slowly so you don't get paper cuts. All right, so after that, you're going to trace out a rectangle that is smaller than this one, and then you're going to cut that out. Have an adult help you at this step so that they can get the cut started. Okay, make sure to use wet glue or tape to put everything together. I'm not going to finish this right now because we're almost out of time, but you can continue working on yours. Make sure you glue or tape everything so it stays in place. And also be sure to leave your items on a flat surface to dry. And make sure not to touch or move them until they dry. I had a lot of fun learning with you engineers, and I can't wait to put everything together tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of the show.